What's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of Ask Alex, where this is the show where I answer all of the questions you have submitted to me. If you want a question on this show, it is very simple. All you have to do is send me an email at static145910@gmail.com. Or you can just simply tweet me at Mr. Alex Hampton, or you can leave a comment under my Instagram at Mr. Alex Hampton. Now that I've gotten that out the way, let's jump into the first question of this show. And the first question comes from a Jerry Campbell Jr. And he writes, "Hey Alex, I'm a fan of your show." Well, thank you, Jerry. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for being a fan. I was wondering, have you seen David Kirkman's Static fan film? Do you think this could make DC and Warner Brothers finally see the potential Static has to be a great movie and or TV series? Well, thank you for your question, Jerry. So I'm going to break this down into two parts. First, I want to give a shout out to David Kirkman, who made an amazing Static Shock short film. I'm going to say that let me just say this. I haven't seen his short film. I know it comes out like in May of this year. But the reason why I say it's amazing is because from what I have seen from Mr. Kirkman are the clips and the trailers that he's put together for the promotion of his film. And I have to say, the man did an amazing job. I don't know what his budget was, and I don't know who was all involved, but he did a really good job putting together this particular story of telling the story of how Virgil got his powers, how he became Static, and all the things that he's doing to be a hero for his community. So I think that was amazing of how he put it together. Again, I haven't seen his film. I haven't seen it. So I can only judge what I've seen so far, but I can't judge the film as a whole. But I can tell you what I have seen from him. It's been an amazing journey in terms of the clips that I've seen and the trailers. So David Kirkman, if you're watching this, you did an amazing job from what I've seen and the promotion of this film. I'm going to watch your film when it comes out, and I think you are a talented, amazing director, and you deserve a lot of great accommodations for the film that you put out, because I'm telling you, from what I've seen for the most part, is amazing. So I want to give a shout out to David Kirkman. But to answer your second part of your question, Jerry, where you write, do you think that this could make DC and Warner Brothers finally have the potential, see the potential that Static has to be a great movie or TV series? Well, let me just say this. Based off the first part of your question, let me just point out and say that there are other Static Shock fan films on YouTube and probably on other streaming services. I can only speak for YouTube. I know for a fact, for me, and I don't know if you've been a long-time subscriber or not, but I know for me, I have two Static Shock short films. One's called Static Shock the movie, and one is called Static Shock Uprising. It's my interpretation of the character. There are other Static Shock fan films that came out way before mine, like Static Shock Phenomenon, Static Shock Blackout. There's a Black Lightning and Static Shock film by Troy Skinner called Black Lightning to Buy His Revenge. So there are other iterations of this particular character on YouTube. Now, I think, personally speaking, I think it does have the potential to be a TV series or a movie. But to answer your question very simply, it's a hard no. And for these reasons. Only minorities and certain individuals know who Static is. I've had people ask me, well, why would CW give Black Lightning a show? Or why would CW give like Legends of Tomorrow a show? Here's the thing. All those characters that you see on the CW had a longevity of comic book notoriety. Black Lightning is a part of the Outsiders. Black Lightning is a part of the Justice League. There have been multiple iterations of Black Lightning, right? When you look at Static, his comic book run, if we're basing it off comic books, his comic book run is not that long. It's not. Even when DC bought Milestone or partnered with Milestone, his comic book run was very small. Even when they incorporated Static into the Teen Titans, we barely saw Static do anything. There's an issue of Teen Titans where we see Virgil working in Star Labs, but he's not Static. He doesn't have that much notoriety in comic books than other characters. That's why we see shows like Arrow or Flash or Legends of Tomorrow or Black Lightning. You know, like when you compare Static to all the other black superheroes, let me just run them down. Black Panther, huge success. Luke Cage, huge success. When you look at some ancillary characters like Storm, people know who Storm is. People know there was another one that just flew from my head. I just lost it. But when you look at those main black characters, those characters have a long run of comic books. Keep in mind, when Static was first created, he was on a roster of milestone comic book characters, and that roster included Icon, Hardware, and Rocket. Characters that are currently not being incorporated into anything as we speak right now. The last iteration of Static that we've seen so far as of right now has been Young Justice Season 3. So with that being said, and keep in mind, and even in that show, Static is a side character. He's not been made the front runner of that show. Static doesn't have that much notoriety in this particular universe, if I'm being honest. So if I'm Warner Brothers and I'm an executive, would I greenlight that show? Regardless if I'm a fan of the character or not, I probably wouldn't greenlight the show or movie. First of all, I wouldn't even put $50 million into a Static Shock movie for the fact of Static Shock doesn't need to be $50 million. It needs to be a TV series. I've always said it needed to be a TV series, not a movie. Only because, like, for instance, if you were to shoot Static Shock professionally, you're not spending no more than maybe 20, 30 grand on the movie. You're not going to spend $50 million on that movie. I'm not saying it wouldn't be great, but Static doesn't require that much special effects to do. So, or neither does his villains either. So, I hope I answered your question right, Jerry. I hope you got some clarity from that question. But thank you for your question. Let me jump into the next question because I've kind of gone on a tangent here. And the next question comes from a James Warren, and he writes, "Hey Alex, there are reports that Paul Walker's character Brian might be coming back in Fast and Furious 9. Given the fact that Paul Walker has passed away, do you think that it is appropriate to bring back Brian to the Fast and Furious franchise?" Well, thank you for your question, James. Honestly, and if anybody who knows me, I'm a huge Fast and Furious fan. From the first one up until 8, I love them all. I think, obviously, Tokyo Drift is the weakest one in my opinion, but I really enjoy the Fast and Furious franchise. When I saw Furious 7, I'm not gonna lie, I cried through the movie. Not all through the movie, but basically, really towards the end of the movie. I really believe they gave Brian the proper send-off. Now, to answer the question of, do I think it's appropriate? Keep in mind, in Furious 7, when they were finishing up the movie and finishing up Paul Walker's scenes, his brothers, who look literally just like Brian, like they look just like Paul, like they basically went in and did the CGI and makeup to fulfill that character. I don't think you need Brian to continue the series. And the reason why I say that is because it's been proven in Furious 8. In Furious 8, which is a really good movie, Furious 8, we saw that movie from beginning to end without the mention of a Brian O'Connor. So I don't think it's wise to bring him back. I don't see why it would be necessary. We know where Brian is in the Fast and Furious universe. Now, if his brothers want to come back and do it, that's clearly their decision. I just don't think it's wise to bring him back to something that it's been proven that it can be a success without him. Keep in mind, Brian wasn't in Tokyo Drift, and I don't know how that movie did financially, but clearly it did well enough for it to continue the series. And he wasn't in Furious 8, so it did well enough to continue the series. So, I don't think it's appropriate, but again, if his brothers want to come back and fulfill that role, they can. So thank you for your question, James. So I'm going to go into my next question, and it comes from a John Peters. And he writes, "Hey Alex, is it important to collaborate with other YouTubers or creators?" Well, thank you for your question, John. Well, let me say this, and this is probably going to be a very short answer. Yes. If you look at YouTube now, most big YouTube content creators like Screen Junkies or Collider or anybody really, they collaborate with other YouTubers. They collaborate with the rest of their staff. Like, it's, I would encourage people who are on YouTube to collaborate with one another, because it does nothing but build the fan base that you have. So it's very important to answer your question. Well, thank you for your question, John. And then it comes down now. I have time. I'm gonna spend the next 2 to 3 minutes discussing this last question that I thought I had to save for the end of this show, which comes from a Tavares Gaines. And he writes, "Hey Alex, it has officially been confirmed that Ben Affleck is no longer Batman. It looks like Matt Reeves is doing his Batman movie that will include a new Batman that will include multiple villains in the movie. Do you think that this new Batman movie will be included in the DCEU?" I've already explained to you guys. Well, first, thank you for your question, Tavares. I've already explained to you guys my feelings about the DCEU. Okay, I personally think that they are just running rampant about how they're running their universe. Again, I'm not an executive there, so they do what they want. Here's my thing. I'm excited to see the new Matt Reeves Batman movie, because they're saying they're going to make it a detective-like old school Batman. However, I think they should just reboot the whole DCU. I mean, let's be clear. I mean, Henry Cavill's gone. Ben Affleck's gone. Ben Affleck retweeted the article. So Ben Affleck is gone. He still has, I think, either 1 or 2 movies left on his contract, but Ben Affleck is gone. If you watch Aquaman, there's like a reference of Justice League, but it's clear to me that they're trying to steer every movie away from being a shared universe. Even if you look at the Birds of Prey trailer that recently came out, well, the teaser, which I thought was trash. They're just DC is basically doing whatever they want to do. So we knew for quite some time Ben Affleck was not going to be Batman, and we knew for quite some time that DC is just ultimately going to do what they want. And ultimately, I think it is cool to see Matt Reeves take on Batman. Do I think it's going to be included in the DCEU? Probably not. Probably. I don't know. There are no reports to say that it is or isn't. So I just can't wait to see what's going to happen. I will say this. I've been very disappointed with DC lately. Aquaman was not a terrible film. It was okay for the most part. I didn't give a review on it, but it was okay for the most part. But it didn't do anything to excite me, personally. So that's my take on that question. Thank you for your question, Tavares. Thank you guys for watching this jam-packed show. If you want to go ahead and just like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would really, really appreciate it. Also, go ahead and follow me on my multiple social medias, which is Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and also Twitter. And also, if you could you please donate to my Patreon page? There's 2 tiers on there, a $2 tier and a $5 tier, and I really would appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching this jam-packed episode of Ask Alex, and you guys have a blessed day. Thank you for watching this video. If you're not a subscriber to Brand New Productions, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube page by clicking this button right here. And also, if you want to see all the different content that I'm putting out, go ahead and click on this video up here or this video down here, where you get to see all the different content I'll be coming out with, whether it's short films, movie reviews, or any other thing that I'm doing on this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. You guys have a great day.